Hey guys, this is the WalterFootball.com After Dark Show for June 5th, 2025. We're going to be doing another fantasy football best ball draft, talk about some players that we like. Some things have changed. Some players are visiting teams they might sign. So we'll get some updates on some of these players. We'll talk about everything too. So if you want to talk, drop a comment in the chat. We'll get to it. Doesn't have to be about football. We'll talk about anything here as we usually do. So please like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit the link in the description for the merch store. As always, I'm wearing something for the merch store. It is my fanciest or third fanciest t-shirt, the brown Walter Football t-shirt, which I wore yesterday. But when we have a shirt this cool, you have to wear it twice. You can get this shirt on the merch store, and you'll be like, where is this brown shirt? I don't see it. You keep scrolling up and down. I don't see it. It says 50% off, but I can't find it. Like, you can go to any shirt, change the color. I think you can get like long sleeve and hoodie as well. There are a lot of options. So you can do that. You can get the mugs. We have an apron. Lots of cool stuff. 50% off everything right now. You can go to Amazon, buy my books. So the most recent one is Jerks of the College Years. I wrote about weird people I met at Penn State. I was there for 6 years. So as you can probably guess, I had a lot of writing material. And look, 5.0, 5 out of 5 stars on Amazon. I think I'm one of the few authors who can say that. So this is one of the best books of all time, apparently. Also, you can help with super chats, super stickers. It's the best way to support the show. Really, I mean, YouTube ads pay nothing. Kenny will confirm. So John Sanders and Slew have helped us out the most. So just really want to thank you guys. Also, the Genanon, Can't Make an Eagle, the Boss, Armac, Karmic, and Evan Daniel during the draft. So any further help would be really appreciated. All right, so we're joined by Kenny, thecapIsFake.com, and as I intro Kenny, I'm going to join this draft. Kenny, what's going on?
Oh, bro, I'm living the dream. I am, as I was telling you before we started recording, I am using the healthiest drink of choice to help strengthen my immune system against my cold. That is Diet Coke. If anyone... they are not a sponsor. I'm just a big believer that Diet Coke is the drink of champions. If you want to be nutritious and strong, Diet Coke's the drink for you.
Funny you're drinking that. I'm drinking Pepsi, the original Pepsi, sugar, like real sugar, like none of this high fructose corn syrup nonsense that they put in. It's so much better, and they're not sponsoring us either. Maybe it should be. It's kind of like weird that you're on Coke, I'm on Pepsi, and as our draft's about to begin. So Coke and Pepsi are kind of like, people go into like wars about this stuff. I really don't care. Doesn't matter. But like the natural sugar sodas, I think they're so much better than the high fructose corn syrup sodas. I don't know what your opinions are on that, but
I drink Diet Coke for crying out loud. Like, do you think you can trust my palate for crying out loud? I mean,
I know it's ridiculous. John says Shedeur Sanders went 100 from 101 with 27 touchdowns, no interceptions. OTA said, "Did you hear about that?" He was it was a performance for the ages. The Angels cried whenever he completed a pass. I don't know if did you see that stat line? I mean, obviously it didn't happen, but
no, it did not.
I just tweeted this out because this post from John is related to something I just tweeted out. Have you ever, before this year, seen passing stats for OTAs? Like maybe training camp here and there, but like May, June OTAs, have you ever seen passing stats for
I've never seen for OTA. I have seen them for training camps, yes.
Sure. Training camps, different. I have never seen it before in my life. And now every single day I'm seeing Browns quarterback stats, all 4 of them. It's just I'm like I didn't even know like people recorded these numbers, but apparently they are. And there's conflicting stuff like Shedeur Sanders went 10 of 10 today, but he didn't get any reps with the first team. He's the only quarterback who didn't get any reps with the first team. So I tweeted, I'm like, please don't show Mel Kiper this. He might suffer a stroke. So yeah, it's so bizarre to see this stuff. We have the second pick, by the way. I'm happy we don't have the 5th pick. I hate the 5th pick. I've been drafting, this is probably like my 60th draft that I've done. I found myself like, whenever I get the 5th pick, I'm like, this draft's going to suck. But we're up right now. Jamar Chase went. Who do you want? Barkley, Jefferson, or Robinson?
I mean, I'm always Barkley leaning, but I could settle for Jefferson if you prefer receiver.
I don't know, but I think Barkley's better. I'm fine with taking Barkley. So you don't always get to draft him. It's kind of one of the perks of drafting number 2. So we'll take Barkley here. I saw on Twitter. I don't know what account it was. It was an account that had like a pretty large following, and they were like adamant that Saquon Barkley was going to be a bust this year. And it's Walter Pacific. I know, I know, John. I said like, well, I think you're referring to some other posts. I don't know. I mean, I feel like some of them are. I don't know. Are they all fake? I feel like some of them might be real. I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure that like I know some of them are fake, but I just don't know. Like I do think the the first stringer post is real. Anyway, what was I about to say? I don't know where I was going. The post about Saquon Barkley being a bust. They were talking about like his high volume from last year, a long season. The Eagles losing Mekhi Becton. What are your thoughts on all that stuff? I'm obviously took it just now.
Becton and whatever. They have the best offensive line in football and best offensive line coach or top 2 offensive line. Who cares? That doesn't matter. I think the high touches is a real thing. When you look back through the history of the NFL, players that have had the amount of touches and workload that Barkley had last year, it's not favorable. That's for sure. There's always a step back. But I think context matters. When you look back at each one of those situations, like there was something that there was something that like there's a reason, and I think Barkley's just a freak of nature, athlete. The Eagles have a phenomenal offensive line. The offense can still be balanced. I'm not as concerned. Do I expect him to have the same year in 2025 that he had in 2024? Of course not. I mean, almost impossible to replicate what he did this year. And if he does replicate it, then just he should go right to the Hall of Fame. He should not have to wait 5 years. He should be the first player ever inducted while still playing. Seriously, just whatever. He's going to take a step back. That's fine. He's still one of the most reliable players in the most reliable, running game in the NFL. So I'm not concerned.
By the way, you know who had 390 touches last year in the first round? I didn't realize this until I heard it today. In the first round, Ashton Jeanty had 390 touches last year, which is a little scary for even though he's a rookie. I figured he's going to have more endurance, but still,
it's not the same wear and tear though, because he's playing against half of those games were against the future gym teachers of America. So it's like it's not the same wear and tear.
Yeah, it's a little scary though. And what do you think about $1 Gators going Raider to start this draft with Jeanty and Bowers?
Hey, if you really believe in the Raiders' offense, I don't, but if you do, go for it.
And we have to answer this question: did Kenny watch hockey tonight or the College World Series, the softball? I think people are dying to know.
I watched Encanto with my 3-year-old daughter. Which is our new favorite movie in the Ortiz home, nice. And we watched Encanto, and then we are we on the clock here?
Well, we're next. McBride just went. We have one more pick here. Okay, now we're on the clock. Bucky Irving, T. Higgins, Josh Allen, Terry McLaurin, Garrett Wilson, Lamar Jackson, the top 6 in ADP. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, I think Chase Brown's been I love him, but it's hard to not take a receiver in this spot, right? So whoever the best receiver is in your mind.
I think T. Higgins probably. We can take him. Let's go with Higgins, and then we're going to be up in 2 picks right now, so let's stay on the screen. I don't want to take Irving because we have a week 9 bye guy with Barkley. That'll be 2 week 9 bye running backs. I'm fine with Josh Allen's fine. McLaurin probably my best choice, but you said Chase Brown. I love Chase Brown. I wouldn't mind him at all at the spot. So who would you rather go with, McLaurin or Chase Brown?
Oh, I'd much prefer Chase Brown.
Okay.
I actually have McLaurin further down my rankings than you seem to do.
Okay. Why? I mean, I like McLaurin quite a bit. I mean, I think that with Laramie Tunsil there, he's going to have, or Jane Daniels is going to have more protection. We're just going to take Brown here. Jane Daniels is going to have more protection, and that means, a better production for McLaurin.
Yeah, all that's true. I just think there's 15 receivers better than him. I don't know. Like, all of that can be true, and there you guys do better.
Okay. Who's well, I mean, we're still going now. Like McLaurin hasn't been taken, so every receiver drafted now, you would take over McLaurin. I know you're down on Drake London, and Marvin Harrison.
London, I would not, but London, I wouldn't take Marvin Harrison Jr. above him either. I would take McLaurin above him. I'd take him above Rashee Rice, and I'd take him above Garrett Wilson. So, let me see. The guys that are on the board that I would prefer above him would be McConkey. Has he been drafted?
Yeah, 205.
Yeah, okay. So Tyreek Hill, I would take above him at this point still.
Okay.
Smith and Jigba, I'd take above him at this point.
Okay.
It's been Jigba still on the board?
Yes.
Yeah, so I would take those guys ahead of him. I think Tyreek Hill and McLaurin are a toss-up, but I think I lean toward Tyreek.
Okay.
Also in part because I can get Tua late in the draft, and Jaden Daniels is always going earlier than I want to draft him. So I'm never getting Daniels. I'm often getting Tua.
You're often getting Tua, really.
Yeah, I mean, he's available in round 12 almost every time. I mean, pretty regularly.
I don't think I've drafted. I've said this before. Outside of Jalen Wright, I don't think I've drafted a single Dolphin this year. Maybe like a couple drafts with Achane, but I don't even know if that's true. I've completely avoided Miami players this year.
I've not taken. I've done 17 drafts now on my own. I think I've gotten Tyreek maybe 4 times in 17 drafts, and I think he's the only running back. He's the only skill position player that I've taken. I've not taken Waddle or any of the running backs or anyone else in that team.
You haven't taken Jonnu Smith? Wow.
Sorry.
I know you're a big fan. By the way, that same account I talked about being down at Barkley, they love Marvin Harrison Jr. So I could get, like it's a buy low. He was going 112 last year, which was way too high. I really wanted to see Harrison like round 4, round 5 for value this year.
Yeah,
like
that would be a good place to target him.
Yeah, for sure. I do see the upside. Kyler Murray kind of restricts him a little bit. But man, 304 is a little too early. I've seen him go like 312, which is okay. By the way, Joe Burrow just went. I was, given that we took Higgins and Brown, I was hoping for Burrow on the way back, but that did not happen. Maybe a mistake to take Higgins and Brown from the same team, like not getting Burrow. I was banking on like Burrow being there for 11, but apparently not.
Yeah, I actually didn't ever think of that, to be honest. I have McLaurin 14th on my rankings, by the way. I just kind of looked down and realized where I got him. So
I'm gonna pull mine up and see where I have him too. So right now I have McLaurin number 11.
Okay, it's not like we're not like way off here.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, I thought you didn't want to take running back receiver on the same team. Yeah, I usually don't. I think it's fine if you pair them with the quarterback. I think Cincinnati's a special case because those guys like Browns can catch fast in the backfield. So is Higgins. I usually don't want to do this, but I was like counting on the stack. That's why I said I was really hoping for Burrow to be there, and usually sometimes sometimes I've got him in round 5. It's weird to see him taking 403 like that early, but whatever. We're up in a pick now. There's Hampton, Hurts. We can take Hurts. McMillan, Smith. I think Hurts kind of conflicts with Barkley though. There's Smith, Jameson Williams, Sutton, Harvey, Hubbard, Flowers, etc. Kamara. What do you think?
I mean, and Jigba's on the board, right? I just. Oh, I didn't notice that. I didn't notice where he went. Maybe I'm not dumb. Yeah, I think to me, Sutton is my favorite player, probably in this spot here.
Yeah, I love Sutton.
Or Joe Mixon or Alvin Kamara.
I think Mixon's went already. And then you said Kamara, maybe. We already have 2 running backs, so I definitely want Sutton here. So we will take Courtland Sutton. And yeah, it's not a bad start for a team, I guess. With the unfortunately we didn't have the ability to take Burrow, but aside of that, I think it's okay. We're up again. So did you really want Kamara, or are you okay with someone else here?
Yeah, Kamara is my favorite player here, but okay. I think my favorite receiver in this spot would be Zay Flowers or Devontae Adams. Is Adams still on the board? Is he gone?
He's gone. He actually went round 3. Let's say Kamara because you love him so much.
I'm not seeing the board apparently at all here.
Yeah. So let's kind of review where these guys went.
We've been chatting.
Right. Devontae Adams went
There he is. There he is.
404. Jackson Smith-Njigba went 402. It's kind of a little late for him. He usually goes mid to late round 3. Devontae Adams went 404. Joe Mixon went 408, and then you had these rookies. These guys wasted picks here with Hunter and Hampton. I think the Hurts Smith stack is what we did yesterday in yesterday's draft, which was interesting. It was an interesting draft that we did yesterday. It's kind of like something I didn't really do all the time, so that was kind of like the theme of it. But yeah, I mean, we've gone running back, receiver pretty heavily so far, which is what you should do, unless you get like amazing value with quarterback or tight end,
which just never seems that. I don't know. Pretty rare, at least my case.
So sometimes I've gotten either Jalen Hurts or Joe Burrow middle round 5. I think that's pretty good. It's not like amazing value, but like it's kind of where it's kind of like where I'm thinking like, okay, like I'm fine with taking them there. I think Josh Allen at 307 is pretty good value because sometimes he goes mid to late second round. So I think that's pretty good.
For a long time, I've been doing a little bit of research on VBD, value-based drafting. For those who don't know, you're comparing, all the players against a particular baseline, and I just for many years, for 10, 12, 13 years or so, the numerical value of taking a quarterback before round 9 was never there. It didn't matter who it was or what the situation was. It never made sense to take a quarterback before round 9. 2023 was the first year where that changed, and then 2024. And so from a value-based standpoint, Josh Allen last year was worth, and Lamar Jackson, both worth third-round picks, basically. Based on it, Lamar Jackson was worth easily worth third-round pick. So I think, that's in typical standard leagues because I don't usually play PPR unless it's DraftKings because I'm not a child. But and so I think I think there's a part of me that thinks, okay, there may be a value in taking a quarterback that the problem is I'm just not sure we know for sure that Allen and Jackson are going to perform the same way. So I'm still nervous to take those guys early in the draft.
What are you worried about with them? Anything specific or just in general?
It's just easy for a quarter for the ball to bounce funny. If the running back doesn't fall down to 1 and scores a touchdown, we've seen with Mahomes. Like Mahomes is all-world talent. In my mind, the most talented quarterback we've ever seen play. He's already, in my mind, cemented as the second greatest quarterback of all time, only behind Brady. Like that's what I think of Mahomes. And he's trash in fantasy the last 2 seasons, right?
Yeah.
So it's just so easy. You can be great, and situation can just not fall in your favor, and that can happen so easily with a quarterback. So yeah, it makes it volatile to me, and I just think that's just so much safer to take the guys that are going the 9th round and later, the Herberts, the Tuas, the Matt Staffords. I'd much rather have those guys.
I'm kind of shocked you said something. I thought when you said second best quarterback of all time, I thought you were going to say Nick Foles.
Third. He's the third best of all time.
Okay, fair enough. So I take Hurts, then Mahomes, and Nick Foles, I assume.
Exactly.
Mahomes, by the way, is available. I did one draft earlier today. I swear I got sniped like every single pick. It was so frustrating. It was like the most frustrating draft I've ever had. He fell to the mid 7th round. At 705, I drafted out of 5. He was there at 705. I just passed on him.
I've drafted him in the 7th round, I think 3 times. I mean, in the 7th, I'm just like, I can't pass him up.
Okay. Well, we're up right now. We need receivers. We have we have Rome Odunze, Jacoby Myers, Khalil Shakir. There's Cooper Kupp. Please don't tell me to draft Cooper Kupp. And then Ricky Pearsall. What are you thinking here?
I love Pearsall. I don't like Odunze. I like Myers. I like all those guys.
Okay. I think
Pearsall, Odunze, Myers would be my ranking.
I think we can get Pearsall on the way back. So let's take Odunze right here. And then, we'll see. I mean, this is what happened earlier, the draft earlier today. I'm like, I can get on the way back. It's like one pick for me, like every single time. All right, Ricky Pearsall fell to us, so we can take him. So now we have 4 receivers. I feel better about that because receiver really drops off. We have Higgins, Sutton, Pearsall, and Odunze as our receivers, and Barkley, Chase Brown, and Kamara as our running backs. So pretty good start, I think, outside of the Burrow mishap, which isn't like a huge deal. The guy at the turn took 2 running backs. He now has 3 running backs with Judkins, Jones, and Irving. So this looks like a solid team here with Chase, Irving, Wilson, Hurts, Devontae Smith. I'm not crazy about Devontae Smith because you need AJ Brown to go down. But if that happens, this guy's team is going to look great. And Mahomes, by the way, went 703.
Yeah, I mean I feel like that's value. I actually got him at 710 in a draft. So and then I kind of went berserk trying to get Chiefs. I overdrafted, reached for Kelsey, drafted Noah Gray late in the last round, I think. I can't remember who else. I think I tried to just get some Chiefs stack in there to some extent.
I have not drafted any Kelsey, any Mahomes, or any Gray. I have drafted Worthy and Rashee Rice though, but I just feel like Kelsey. Like I think if Rashee Rice is healthy, like Kelsey's kind of that's good. It's his role. Like last year when Rashee Rice is healthy, Kelsey's doing nothing, and then Kelsey started doing stuff when Rice got hurt. So as like it feels like as long as Rice is playing, like Kelsey's just kind of diminished a little bit, and he usually like relaxes until the playoffs anyway.
The most common tight end I'm drafting is Mark Andrews because he seems to be available in the 9th or 10th round every time. And I just I almost find myself not drafting other Ravens players because I don't want to conflict. Because I know I'm going to end up with Andrews. Yeah, and I've ended up with a lot of Andrews.
I have as well. I mean, I feel like he's going to bounce back this year after that horrible game he had to close out the season. He's still kind of young. He's 29. He's not quite 30 yet. And I like him quite a bit at like round 9, round 10. I think that's pretty good value. So that's I think he's like the second most the second highest rated tight end I've drafted. The tight end I have with the most exposure is Tyler Higbee, because I keep getting him like around 18 or around 19, which I think is insane. I don't understand why he's going so late, but we had that discussion yesterday. He actually went undrafted yesterday because what'd you say?
There's a what's the rookie's name that's there that they drafted a guy, right?
Ferguson. Yeah, but Stafford's not going to use Stafford loves Higbee. He's not going to use that rookie. Maybe next year, but I think people are overhyping that rookie. Like Higbee is still there. Like people forget what Higbee did in the playoffs. I don't understand. I really don't get it. But anyway, I'm happy to draft him in round 19. Every time. Yeah. But like I said, last night's draft that we did, he went undrafted because we were kind of stacking our tight ends with our quarterbacks, and so we just didn't take Higbee, and he didn't go drafted. And I'm like, wow, that's insane. Like I would like if his ADP was like round 15, I would take him round 15. I just don't get like why he's going so late. But we had that extensive discussion yesterday. So we had let's see here. John asking, is Travis Hunter a risk in the 4th round? Yeah, 100%. I mean, like he may play defense for all we know. We don't know how they're going to use him. I assume they're going to use him offensively, and we're up in 3 picks here. We just don't know. It's a very confusing situation. We haven't seen this before, and it's just weird,
If we need receivers here, I don't love Jaden Reed. My favorite receiver in this area tends to be Michael Pittman Jr.
Okay.
He tends to be my favorite guy in this sort of part of the draft. I'm almost always taking a quarterback or a tight end in this spot, usually too, pretty regularly.
So who are you seeing? So we're going to take Pittman here, and then we can discuss tight end or quarterback. So who are you seeing? I mean, Goff is let's go to quarterbacks. There's Goff, Fields, Caleb Williams, Brock Purdy. Purdy pairs with Pearsall, but maybe we can get him next round. We'll see. And then tight end, there's Johnny Smith, Mark Andrews, Ingram. Do you want to take Andrews?
I mean, I'm a fan.
Okay, I like him too. I mean,
I've also been drafting quite a bit of Tyler Kraft and Dallas Goedert because they seem to drop a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Even though their ADPs are in the 130s, they're almost always, at least for me, they're usually in the late 130s or in the 140s. Yeah. So I've just noticed there's a couple players whose ADP doesn't seem to have caught up with where they're actually being drafted a lot. Maybe that'll shift over the next couple weeks.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it will. These things change all the time. So yeah, let's take Andrews. So we're going tight end right now, and so we'll be spending the next couple of picks on quarterbacks. I imagine quarterbacks we can pair our receivers with are Bo Nix got taken, unfortunately. There's Caleb Williams maybe on the way back, or Brock Purdy, and then I don't know how you feel about the Colts quarterbacks. It's kind of kind of a weird situation there. It's so hard to stack those guys.
Richardson's ADP is really late, right? It's like 170 something.
Yeah, it's like round 14 or something.
Yeah, so if he's there late in the draft, like he's been my third quarterback a couple times. Just like I don't know what's going to. I don't know what to make of him. I have no idea what his career. I mean, he could be out of the NFL by next year. Who knows what the situation? But I don't know. I think he could have a handful of big games. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, he can either be great or be terrible. It's just like it could go both ways. It's so weird. I don't know what to make of him. His rookie year wasn't that bad. Like I think his completion percentage was like 57% or something. It wasn't that bad. And then last year was like 47%. He just like completely fell off a cliff. And it just looked like the work ethic wasn't there. I don't know. I don't know what to make of him. Like I said, he could go either way, really. I don't know. So like 14th round, I guess is okay, but it is kind of scary if you have only 3 quarterbacks and one is benched, then you're down to 2. And so like if one goes down with an injury, then you have the bye week and then you score 0 at the position, like that really worries me. So I try to get 3 quarterbacks I know are going to start. And if I have Richardson, I want him to be like my 4th quarterback, just because like I definitely want 3 because it's the position with the highest floor, and if you're taking a 0, like you're probably just done. By the way, Brock Purdy went, so our dreams of pairing Pearsall Purdy have come to an end.
I don't feel the need to do this to pair necessarily, and so I just Herbert. I was getting ready to say, if a guy like Justin Herbert's on the board, then I think he's a no-brainer, but he's gone.
Yeah.
So
yeah, 5 quarterbacks went in the 9th round. Jordan Love, no cookie. Jordan Love went along with Jared Goff and Justin Fields. Jared Goff's another guy I have not drafted at all, not once.
I haven't either.
Yeah, it just feels like with the Detroit offense losing Ben Johnson and now Frank Ragnow, man, that was a big blow. What'd you make of that retirement?
Well, the other big thing you're forgetting is that Jared Goff sucks. So
fair enough. He's good in the regular season. Playoff Jared Goff's different. But with Ben Johnson gone, like you have to think that he's going to decline a little bit, at least
take a step back.
Yeah. I mean, think about who he's had as his coach. He's had Sean McVay for a long time, and then he had Ben Johnson. It's like 2 awesome offensive coaches, and now he's going to have Johnny Morton. Like, who knows how he's going to play with Morton? Like, I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe he'll still be good, but like Frank Ragnow retiring, they already lost Kevin Zeitler. Like 2 really talented offensive linemen gone, and like they already had a rookie slate at the start there. So like their interior offensive line looks pretty bad right now. Their tackles are awesome, but the interior blocking kind of sucks. Unless this rookie's really good, we'll see. So it's kind of like a couple strikes against him. I just don't want him. It's going too early. Quarterback.
I think he's consistently overdrafted.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right, we're up in 1 pick. Caleb Williams is my vote. Who are you thinking of quarterback here?
Yeah, he's probably the best one. I mean, I'd probably like CJ Stroud a little more. But if pairing him with Nduze could be helpful.
Yeah, that's kind of when I want him. And Stroud has some question marks. He's dealing with shoulder soreness. Now let's take Williams. So actually, let's wait for the time to tick down a little bit because I think we need to talk about Stroud. I don't know how I should feel about Stroud. Like on one hand, I'm like shoulder soreness doesn't sound that serious. It's only early June. It could be nothing. Like a month from now, he could just be playing in training camp or whatever, a month and a half. Let's take Williams down. But what if this is like a Christian McCaffrey like situation from last year? Remember last year we were like, oh, it's just a calf, no big deal, just a calf. He'll play week 1, and then he's questioned week 1. Oh, he might play. If he doesn't play, he'll play week 2, and then like he doesn't play week 2, and then he only plays 4 games, and like a shoulder for a quarterback is kind of scary. So I don't know what to make of Stroud. Like this could be nothing, or this could be like alarming. Like I don't. What do you think? What do you think about it? Because we're up right now. By the way, we have to make a decision. Who are we taking?
Yeah, I like Stroud, or I'm going to pivot to maybe a receiver here if you really don't like Stroud.
Most
Or Lawrence.
we have 2 seconds to take Stroud. Yeah, so that kind of snuck up on me. But what do you think about Stroud? Like
I'm right now. I'm maybe I'm guilty of the. Oh, it's fine. It's early June. He'll be fine. And then maybe in October I'll be like, I guess he wasn't fine.
I mean, look, that's what people thought about McCaffrey last year. They were taking him first overall, and yeah, just
this is also the 11th round, not exactly the same risk factor.
That's true. It is true. On the other hand, that like if one of our 3 quarterbacks is not available, that could really derail his team. At least like in a couple weeks, and like that's all it takes is to like ruin your team taking a 0 quarterback. So that's pretty scary to me, but. Again, I don't know. I've been drafting Stroud a lot before the injury, and now I'm like, I sometimes do it, but like if it's close, I'll take someone else. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I've no idea. I mean, if you guys have any idea, or let us know what you do. There's in the chat. Power play for Edmonton, delay of game. Oilers win. Kenny, are you excited?
The Houston Oilers? The run and shoot offense with Warren Moon.
Yeah, he's got NFL Network old games on. Yeah,
come on, man. I used to play with them in was it Madden or Montana football, 1994, Sega Genesis.
Nice.
Usually play with the Eagles, of course, with Herschel Walker and Heath Sherman as my running backs.
Nice.
But in the occasional moments when I would deviate from playing with the Eagles. I sometimes would play with the Oilers, and
those jerseys are awesome.
They were like the only team in the Montana football that had like that wide open offense that pretty much is everything now. And where the Eagles playbook was like just like 80% running plays. That's like fullbacks. Anyway. I remember playing with my dad. My dad being like, "Can't throw the ball that much."
how things have changed.
Yeah.
By the way, my favorite guy, Guerrero, just got taken at 12:03. I think Guerrero, outside of Higbee, Guerrero is my highest exposed player.
I've not ended up with a lot of Guerrero. It just seems like he's always going a little higher than I'm thinking about him. And so I'm almost always pounding running backs and receivers early. And so once I get to around 9 through 14, 15, I'm pretty much quarterback tight ends unless there's just an extreme value. So a lot of those later round guys, I'm just missing out on taking them just because I'm usually behind the 8 ball on quarterback and tight end. Bigsby's the one. Mr. Cartavius is the one example, the one exception. If he's ever there beyond pick 130, I'm taking him.
Okay. Well, Guerrero's my guy. I take him around 12 every single time. Where would you take him? Like you said he goes earlier than you think you would take him.
Where do I have Guerrero in my rankings? Let me not lie to you. Not at least not intentionally. Okay, I got Guerrero at I don't have them numbered because I'm a dope. But I have them right around. I have them right. Stevenson and right after Ramondre Stevenson. So I got Stevenson, then I've got Guerrero, then I've got Najee Harris, J.K. Dobbins, Jalen Wright, Zach Charbonnet, Charbonnet, Tajay Spears. Like that's kind of one tier for me. He's in that crew. Okay,
interesting. I just think his upside is like through the roof. All right, we're up in 3 picks. There's if you want to go receiver is Jake Betch. Really the only receiver I kind of see Alec Pierce, I guess. Running back, there's your guy, Tank Bigsby. I'll start him for you. I'll start Jake Betch as well.
I've also been drafting a lot of Austin Eckler, interestingly enough, because
really, I have
because
not
he's
drafted
going
him
so
much.
late. I mean, I'm getting him in round 15. It's like he's there on the board so late, so regularly.
So who are we taking here?
Not in round 20.
Who are we taking here? You want Tank Bigsby or Jake Betch or quarterback?
I mean, you could almost wait on Bigsby another round, probably. Or you can take him here. I think he's valuable.
All right, 6 seconds. Who we got?
I like Bigsby. I think he's
right.
That's my.
Okay, and who are we taking next? We need a third quarterback. Stafford just went.
Cam Ward, I really like Stafford.
Are you okay with Cam Ward or Geno Smith?
I mean, Geno Smith it makes me gross, but I think he's the best of this bunch.
Really, you take him over Cam Ward? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if Cam Ward's good. Is he good? I don't know. You tell me. You know better than I do. I haven't drafted him once in 17 drafts.
My vote is to take Jake Betch and then maybe Geno Smith on the way back. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see that. I like Cam Ward can run. Like that's what he does. And that's fine for fantasy. Like I don't know if he's going to be a good player, but like he has overachieved at every level where he's been. And he has that running ability. Like he's going to have some games where he rushes for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns, and like that'll beat Caleb Williams-Stroud. And so it's taken around 13 seems good. He's going to have some bad games too. But the Tennessee's offense like seems to be not bad to me. Like I like what they did on their offensive line. They got 2 upgrades on the offensive line. They signed Dan Moore from the Steelers, a tackle, and then they signed Kevin Zeitler, who we talked about before. So like their offensive line, they should be able to block like pretty decently. They have Calvin Ridley. They have 2 good running backs. Like it seems like their offense shouldn't be that bad. Their defense is gonna be awful, but their offense doesn't seem like that bad. Cam Ward is like a pretty frequent QB3 for me just because of his upside.
Yeah, I haven't drafted him once in my 17 personal drafts because I just don't know what to make of him, and so
yeah.
I may have drafted him once just because he was like everyone else was gone.
That's fair. Well, tell me why you like Austin Eckler, because I've not drafted him at all.
I just think there's a high floor, not a lot of upside, right? Like there's no upside for Eckler. Like I don't,
Yeah.
But I think there's a high floor in terms of, he's going to get a certain number of carries. They seem to trust him and like him, and he's going to get a handful of targets. At the point of the draft where I'm drafting him, I'm typically taking him. We're taking, his ADP is 157 or something. At that point of the draft, the other running backs available are typically pretty garbage, or there's a lot of question marks. It's at that part of the draft you're talking. It's Tyler Algier, he's fine. There's Will Shipley, and there's Jalen McLaughlin, and there's Jerome Ford, and Rico Dowdle, Justice Hill. That's kind of the crew he's being drafted nearby. And I'm kind of like, amongst all those guys, I'll take the high floor. Just and particularly if I have, his bye week is week 12, I think Eckler's is. It seems to be a lot of the players I like don't have a week 12 bye week. So he's like a really good player to have in just in case. I've got other players on buys. Like his buy doesn't overlap a lot of other players I tend to like.
Yeah, that makes sense. For me, it's like you said it. Like his ceiling is low. He has a higher floor, but like the 9, 10, 11 points he's going to score, I feel like will never pass. Like if we took him, it's never going to pass Barkley. He's never going to pass Chase Brown. He's never going to pass Kamara. So what is he going to do for you on your team? He's just going to just rot on your bench except for bye weeks. I'd rather go with a guy who potentially gets 20, 25. You mentioned a few guys like Braylon Allen, Tyler Algier. Like at the moment, no, but if this guys in front of him get hurt, then they're going to go nuts. Whereas if Brian Robinson gets hurt, Eckler is not going to get Robinson's carries. It's going to go to someone else, and he's going to keep the same role. Like maybe he gets a few more carries here and there, but his 10 or 11 will go to 13 or 14. Well, so like he just doesn't really like stand out to me as like someone who's going to win a best ball draft for you. He's just going to just sit on your bench the whole time. I just want like guys with like huge upside, in like even like in any round really. But we're up. Unfortunately, the quarterbacks we like have been taken. This is why I have a rule where it's like escape the first 13 rounds with 3 quarterbacks. We're up now. I really don't see the point in taking any of these guys. Like I'm fine taking Daniel Jones later. So running back, we have Doodle, Jalen Wright, Justice Hill, Roshan Johnson, Shipley. We have Quentin Johnson, Alec Pierce, Romeo Dubs. Who are you thinking? Fryermuth, Mason Taylor. What do you like?
Yeah. Do we have Justin Herbert as a quarter? No. Who's our quarterback? I forgot.
Stroud and
we got 5 seconds.
Yeah. All right. Let's take Jalen Wright. Well, let's make this next pick. We have 5 running backs, 6 receivers. So who do you like here? We take a running back or a receiver, I guess.
How about a tight end?
Fryermuth, Mason Taylor, Hunter Henry, K. Dotton, Chiggy Bang Bang.
Yeah, you can wait.
Yeah, exactly. I think running back or Tillman is the best. Or Jalen. We have Jalen Noel.
I like Jalen Noel. Actually, I've been drafting him quite a bit.
Okay. Yeah, we Stroud. Let's pair him with the Jalen Noel.
Again, I don't know if Noel's good, but I've heard there are several scouts and guys that have covered the college game that I've watched film, or they've watched film and they've talked about that they really like his route running. So
okay. Well,
I don't know who's going to be the pass catchers in Houston. I legitimately don't know who's doing what there. I mean, after Nico Collins, who knows? It feels like a mess.
Yeah, it does. Right now, I'd say it's Collins and Higgins on the outside and Kirk in the slot, but and Noel would play in the slot. But like you can't count on Kirk staying healthy, or like who knows? Like Kirk just might be washed and he may not get the job. But Noel could win the job over him.
I don't know if Higgins is actually good.
Yeah, that's fair. By the way, J.K. Dobbins just won 15-5. I drafted him today, I think around 16, because I don't know if you saw the story that he went to Denver to I guess talk to the Broncos about signing there. Yes. So I think that'd be a good addition for them because I don't really like R.J. Harvey. I don't think he's a good player. It's kind of like a raw. He's a pretty raw player. He's he's kind of new to the position. He used to be a quarterback. Now he's got like a lot of like natural talent. But like he's like, he kind of reminds me of is like Miles Sanders, just not being able to like see the hole, or like try to like dance.
That is not a good comparison.
Yeah, I like that. That's what he reminds me of. Like his vision's awful. Like there's nothing there. Now you can make people miss, and like he's gonna have some explosive plays. Like Sanders, like remember behind the Eagles line, like he'd have explosive plays. Like he needed that great offensive line to be good, and I think that's the same thing with Harvey. And to be fair, Denver has a really good offensive line, so he could have a good few seasons there. But then I think he'd fizzle out eventually. I don't know. And plus his pass protection is pretty bad too. So I'm not. I keep seeing him like go round 5. It's like way too early for me. Especially like if Dobbins signs, like I think Dobbins would be the favorite to be the starter, at least right away. But
yeah, I mean I've been drafting him quite a bit.
R.J. Harvey?
No, Dobbins.
Oh, Dobbins. Okay, Dobbins. That makes sense. Okay. Kim McNeil asks, won't Vegas be better than Tennessee? Although Tennessee should be behind a lot. What's your call for passing? What are the odds for Ward to have most interceptions? I don't see Ward having a ton of interception. Well, not the most. He could have some interceptions. I don't see a lot of interceptions because he's a scrambler and he's gonna he could have like a lot of fumbles. As far as interceptions, like I don't know if he's gonna have enough pass attempts to be the interceptions leader. But Tennessee's defense is so bad that he's gonna have to do a lot. So yeah, I mean, I think he's gonna have some interceptions for sure. And like Vegas, the problem with taking Geno Smith with the Raiders is that the Raiders are going to be so run heavy. Like Chip Kelly's always been run heavy. Pete Carroll's son is the run game coordinator. Pete Carroll wants his son to be a head coach one day. So like they drafted Gentry. Like they're going to want to run the ball so much. So like, and the Raider defense is pretty decent if they're healthy. Like last year, no one on that defensive line was healthy. Like Crosby was banged up, Wilkins is out. He only played 4 games. Malcolm Kuntz missed the whole season. All those guys will be back now. If they're healthy, that defense is going to be pretty decent. So It's gonna be like defense and running game for the Raiders, and it's like not a lot of passing. So that's why I'm not like too high on Geno Smith. That's why I like Cam Ward better, like this late in the draft. But anyway, we didn't get either one, so we're up in 3 picks. Let's jump to this. Pat Bryant's available. I don't mind him. We already have 7 receivers though, so maybe we should look at something else. We could say Jackson Dart, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. I guess are the best options. Is Daniel Jones later? I'm just going to star these guys.
I've actually taken quite a bit of Aaron Rodgers. I've probably taken him 4 or 5 times in 17 drafts.
Okay. I mean, we take
him it's usually on my last round pick, but
okay. All right, we'll take him later then. Dalton Schultz. We have Stroud.
I like Schultz. I also like Taysom Hill. I think he in best ball. There's going to be 4 weeks where he's throws 3 touchdown passes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, with him, I think like I usually don't like guys coming off 20 ACLs, but with him, it's kind of different.
Yeah, different character.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So what are we doing with our next pick? Do you want to take take Taysom Hill? Just there you go.
Sure.
No, you didn't. No, you want to take Taysom Hill?
Yeah. What round are we in?
Round 17.
Yeah, I probably would wait if there's anything more valuable on the board.
Oh, we have 13 seconds. Dylan Sampson, but that's best running back, I suppose. Nothing receiver. Let's take Hill. And then we could try to get either Aaron Rodgers or Jones later on. And then we need we have 3 tight ends.
I like Jalen Coker as a receiver. I like Deontay Wicks. I have them much higher than the DraftKings rankings.
I like Wicks more than Coker, I guess, just because like Tedero McMillan's kind of blocking Coker. But the receiver I'm drafting like most often late is Marquez Valdes-Scantling in the 20th round, just because what
I know you said that. Yeah,
he is going to have 2 or 3 games this year. He always does, no matter what. 2 or 3 games where he goes for 16, 8 or 18 plus. He did it last year. He had a 25-point game last year. That is what you want out of your 20th round. If you tell me right now he's going to have 3 games of 18 plus and 0 the rest, I'm like, sign me up. The 20th round, please. I'll take that anytime, because he's gonna make your lineup. He's gonna help you get a higher point total. And out of the 20th round, like, who else is going to take in the 20th round? Like, there's no one who else to do that. By the way, Aaron Rodgers just went, so we're gunning for Daniel Jones here. We kind of got robbed on these quarterbacks, unfortunately. Although, I mean, to be fair, we probably should have taken one at 1302.
Yeah.
But I don't like really, like, it's all I was saying before with when we're talking about Eckler, like, it's all about upside. Like there's some picks made this round where I'm like there's no reason for this to happen. Like Tyler Lockett, 1709, that is an awful pick. Like, yeah, he could be the number 2 receiver there, but like, what's he going to do? He might have like one good game. Like, what did he do last year? Like in an offense with a more experienced quarterback, he went 13, 3, 9, 11, 11, 16. There's 16. That was that Thursday night game where he went nuts. Actually, that helped me win a GPP. 8, 1, 15, 3, 9, 4, 0, 3, 5, 4. This is not going to help you win anything in best ball. He had one game above 15.3. That was at 16.5. That was his best game of the year, and that was all garbage time. So like Tennessee is not going to throw as much as granted Seattle didn't throw that much, but Tennessee with a rookie quarterback who runs a lot they're not going to throw a lot. So like that's just an awful pick. Alec Oyomanor, Iomanor actually is the pronunciation. That's another awful pick. Like, first of all, he's rookie. Second, he's in a run first offense. Like there's no reason to make that pick. These low upside picks, like, there's not going to help you win anything. Like, Marcus Valdes-Scantling would be so much better here at 17-12.
So much better is a strong phrase. That's a strong language.
Is Iomanor going to have a single 18-plus point game?
I don't know that MVS will. So I get you're much more confident in MVS than I am.
Every year he explodes for like 2 games or 3 games. Like, that's his thing. Like, he's that's what he does in DFS. He's great. He's great.
And every year my dad came home from work until he didn't, and he left my family when I was 11. So listen, it happens. Okay, things change.
It's taking a dark path here.
You got to joke about these things, otherwise you just you cry.
I wasn't expecting to go that route here.
You're welcome.
I guess we're taking Daniel Jones. I don't know. Unless you want Jackson Dart instead. I won't.
I think Jackson Dart feels more valuable, but whatever.
I took Jones. I don't know. Whatever. We're up. Do you want your boy Dante Wicks? Wait, we need a running. We only have 5 running backs. Let's look at who's here. Blake, what do you think about Blake Corum?
I like Blake Corum at this stage of the draft. Yeah.
All right, we'll take him and then maybe Wicks at the end. Okay, so before that dark turn, no. MVS every year. MVS has 2 or 3 great games, and then he does nothing. And you know that because, I mean, you played we both have played regular fantasy much more than best ball. And in regular fantasy, you can't touch MVS. There's no reason to play him in DFS. Right. And he's the ultimate fly trap in DFS because he last year he had a let's pull up the stats. Why am I just talking out of my butt here? So last year he had a look at this. He had a 28.9 point performance, right? And then he followed up with a 16.7, which is again round. And he didn't play he didn't really play at the first half of the year, and then he had 11.6, and then Derek Carr got hurt. So he has this. He's 1 or 2 games like this a year where he goes nuts. He goes 25 plus, and then people are like, "Oh, I have to play MVS." Everyone is playing MVS, especially after the 16.7. I remember MVS's ownership was insane. This Week 13 game, it's kind of broken here. It says at New Orleans. Dude, his ownership was 40% that week, because that's what happens. MVS has these 1 or 2 amazing games, kind of like Gabe Davis, like one of these 2 amazing games, and then he just disappears. But that's kind of what you want in round 20 of best ball, because you don't have to worry about playing. You don't have to worry about making these decisions. And by the way, I've taken Gabe Davis recently because he talked about signing with the Steelers. So that's another guy I took round 20. And by the way, Wicks went, so we have to decide on someone else. So
I've been taking Mitchell a lot from the Ravens. Oh, he's probably gone.
Yeah, I like Keaton Mitchell. That's perfect for that last round. Just because he can break one, go the distance. So let's highlight Keaton Mitchell. I'm definitely good with taking Keaton Mitchell here.
Who are the other receivers on the board right now? I'm struggling.
Amari Cooper, Ray McLeod, Juju Smith-Schuster, Xavier Restrepo.
I like Westbrook and Kine a little bit.
Okay.
I think I said I hadn't drafted any Miami players. I lied. I've drafted it a few times.
Okay. He had 9 touchdowns last year. It's kind of weird.
Below him there, and just who else do you have?
As Fred Flintstone, Tim Patrick, Cavante Turbin, Roman Wilson. I kind of like Roman Wilson a little bit. Who's D?
I've drafted Jalen Naylor a few times.
I was drafted whenever I drafted McCarthy. I would draft Naylor, and then we had Mike Lucine from NFL Rock Draft on the show, and he's like instead of Jalen Naylor, take Ty Felton, their rookie receiver, and I'm like, okay, he probably has more upside, so I was taking Felton after that. Well, only if I had McCarthy. There's Jalen Hyatt, Olamide Zaccheaus, Luke McCaffrey, Jalen Naylor, Wester, Aiden Mitchell, Deontay Thornton from the Raiders. He is an amazing athlete. He's someone who could really explode. I kind of like him. Savion Williams is a really good athlete too. He can't catch to save his life. Noah Brown, Keandre Lambert-Smith. He ran a 4.3, and he's a bigger receiver who can block.
I've drafted him quite a bit. Every time I have Herbert, I always get him.
Me too. All right, so we have our last pick, 20 seconds. Who do you like? Gabe Davis, MVS, Keaton Mitchell, Nick Westbrook-Akine, Deontay Thornton, or Keandre Lambert-Smith? What do you think?
Mitchell or Lambert-Smith are my 2 favorites of that bunch.
Okay, I feel like I have less Mitchell, and we have 7 receivers already, so let's take Mitchell.
I have a lot of Mitchell. I think I take him in 10. He might be my most owned player.
He's like your Tyler Higbee for me. Are you okay to do a second draft, or do you have to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've
right,
got my
so
Diet Coke, so I feel I feel refreshed.
very nice. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter this draft, and while we wait for it, oh, actually, it's about to start. All right, so we have 2 minutes. We draft late. Where are we drafting? Pick 8. Okay, so we have 2 minutes. Let's review our team in 2 minutes. We took running back Saquon Barkley, Chase Brown, Alvin Kamara. We took some late guys, Tank Bigsby, Jalen Wright, and then the 2 guys at the end. Quarterbacks, we kind of got stuck with 2, only Caleb Williams, CJ Stroud, and then Daniel Jones, whatever. Our receivers are Higgins, Sutton, Odunze, Ricky Pearsall, Michael Pittman Jr., and then 2 rookies, Jake Betch and Jalen Noel. And our tight ends are Mark Andrews, Dalton Schultz, Taysom Hill. What do you think about this team?
Yeah, I like this team. I like the more running back heavy teams, and I really like the receivers that are like in rounds 4 to 9. There's a bunch of receivers I really like and trust, and we got several of those guys. So I think there's some upside. Aduze, Ricky Pearsall. I think there's some significant upside with those kind of guys. That tier.
Yeah, I love those guys. Like Odunze is gonna be so much better this year. Keenan Allen's gone and Ben Johnson's there. Caleb Williams has experience. Pearsall's he could be the receiver 1 for all we know. He could, or at least the receiver 2. And I try to get a Niner receiver no matter what in my draft. Like whether it's Juwan Jennings or Ricky Pearsall. Sometimes Kittle falls to me like late 5th, and I'll take him. But usually it's like one of those other 49er receivers. So I'm right there with you. I like the receiver talent like from like rounds 3 through 7, and then it kind of like disappears after that. But that's I try to get like 5 receivers in the first 8 rounds or so. But yeah, I like our team for sure. So we're about to start. Let's see if anyone drafting here is from our other draft. I always like to see that. So we have BB All-Star, Brad Carducci, Ballard, Shuni's Pop, Shoe Stomp, Baldog, 33GB, Buck Gators, Mark, HCM Power, and Bruno. And in this draft, we have Seth Le'Veon's Last Down, Adregza, LSX, Chad Huffman, Tomahawk Pot, Rob, Joe Menning, Mark, Sean MCB, Alone for Now, and Angela is Mike. It's kind of weird. Anyway, it looks like all new drafters, so we can't kind of like lean on what they're going to do. But yeah, this draft is underway. So back-to-back drafts here. It's exciting. I like picking later. I do have like a favorite spot where you like to pick because like I'm fine as long as it's like not pick 5. I hate pick 5, but what are your thoughts about like where you're drafting?
There's not really one spot that I've loved or hated. It does depend. The later I'm drafting, the more likely I am to end up with more receivers early. The earlier in the first round I'm going, it just seems like early in the first round and then late in the second, there's a lot of running backs I really like. Late in the first, early in the second, there's a lot of receivers I like. So that ends up governing a lot of what I do.
I feel like I'm the same way. Although I usually don't draft that late. For some reason, I'm always like drafting like sometimes second, sometimes third, but like usually I'm 5th or 6th or 8th. Like I don't think I've ever drafted 7th. And I've drafted 60 drafts. I like out of 60 drafts, I think I've drafted at the end like 5 times maybe. It's so weird. And by the way, speaking of weird, CeeDee Lamb went 104. What do you think about that? It's kind of strange.
Yeah, I wouldn't take him there, but listen, in DraftKings, people overrate the receivers so much.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think there is some merit to that because the receivers really drive. In my opinion, the thinnest position because like you could argue, okay, like maybe running back runs out as well in round 9, but like at least like with running backs, you could take like your Tank Bigsby's and whatnot. Well, we're up anyway. There's Amon-Ra St. Brown, Puka Nacua, Christian McCaffrey, Malik Neighbors, Derrick Henry, Nico Collins, Brian Thomas. What are you taking?
Puka is my favorite player in this spot by a significant margin.
I took him at 105 earlier today, so I'm taking him here. So we agree on Puka Nacua. So my point is like in between rounds 11 through 15, you can take some guys who have insane upside, like like your Tank Bigsby's, your Isaac Orendos, etc. Tyler Algiers. There's like not too many receivers there. Like there's some, but like they don't have the same insane upside as the running backs. So that's why I like to go receiver heavy early and then get like those sleeper running backs late. I like to do like a double hero running back. Like make sure I have 2 starters in like the first 8 rounds, and then like go ham at like rounds 11 through 15. Take like 3 or 4 running backs there. That's like usually. Whoa!
I
What
guess
is? Oh man, this draft's gonna get canceled.
Why is that?
You see what Angela is Mike has just done?
No. Oh, what?
That is someone is trying to cheat in this draft. I hope DraftKings doesn't catch it because this really benefits us if they don't catch it. But I mean, look, if you're going to cheat like this, at least like make it believable.
What's the so this is a
hold on, we got to make our pick. Malik Neighbors is available. I want to take him if he's there. If he's not, who do you like here? Brock Bowers, Lad McConkey, Devon Achan, London. I don't know. Like
Jonathan Taylor's my favorite player in this bunch right here. Jonathan Taylor or Josh Jacobs.
Even above Malik Neighbors?
I would say Neighbors.
Okay.
Neighbors, okay. McConkey, then Jacobs and Taylor would be my 4.
Okay. All right. Let's take Neighbors. All right. Let's back to the elephant in the room here. So the thinking here is Angela's Mike is probably an alt account for someone else who's in here. So they're taking garbage players to make their team better. Now you might be like, well, aren't they making every team better? Yeah, they are. But that's the whole point. Like the team that comes out of this pod, they're going to enter the playoffs with a better team. Like, granted, not like a much better team, but like it's probably like a 10% better team than the other teams coming out of their pods. Because they're just,
yeah. I actually got an email from DraftKings a couple days ago, 2 days ago. Hey, one of your drafts was canceled, and I couldn't understand why. And I guess I must not have realized this was going on.
Yeah, I've heard them do that. That's never happened to me, but I've never seen anything this blatant. Like, again, if you're going to cheat, just take Drake London there, and then like Jonathan Taylor. Like, at least you can defend that. Like Caleb especially like Caleb Johnson, just kind of like that obviously stands out too. But you just can't like be this blatant about it. So I'll be shocked if we don't get a letter from DraftKings refunding us for this.
Yeah, I got one yesterday. Yeah, it was refunded my $20, and yeah,
that kind of sucks. But I mean, whatever. We can still have a discussion here, I guess. Anyway, I mean, look, Nacua Neighbors. That's a great start. We got to keep this.
I really love Nacua as a player. I also love that I can stack him with Stafford because I can usually get to Stafford pretty easily.
Yeah, me too.
Where Neighbors, it's like I don't know who am I going to stack him with. It's like there's no. Yeah. So yeah,
you're not crazy about Jackson Dart or Russell Wilson
or Jameis Winston. Sorry to let you down.
Well, also you have your soul hurt by taking a giant receiver.
100%. There's soul. Gets wrecked in that process.
I know. That's the most important thing. I wish we could keep Nacua and Neighbors. That's a great stack though. It's a great receiver duo. I should say, not stack. Rashee Rice 301 is a little early. I've not seen him go that early. I like Rice, but that's kind of unexpected. We're up in 2 picks, by the way. Josh Allen's here. If you want to take a quarterback, you're talking about taking quarterbacks. It's Chase Brown as well. Some good players. Jackson with the Jigba. Thanks to Team 12, we have some good players here. Who do you like?
I'm okay with taking Josh Allen. I mean, I feel like
never mind. He got taken. Who do you like now?
Okay, in this, to me, it's Chase Brown. Or it's or it's Tyreek Hill. I think those are the or Devontae Adams. But Chase Brown's my favorite player in this spot.
Me too. I love Chase Brown this year. Let's take him. And then in a few picks we get to see what Angela is Mike will do. I've recognized that name. I've drafted with Angela is Mike before. And like maybe this is not necessarily cheating. Maybe that person is super drunk right now, and it's like, haha, let's mess up this draft. But I don't know why you would pay $20 to do that. If this were free, I could get it. Like, pay $20 to throw this away. It just doesn't really make sense. But all right, who are we taking? Angela's Mike. Who are you taking? My guess is Russell Wilson. That's my guess. I don't know.
Johan Dotson, and then following it up with Mike Allstott.
Mike Allstott. Well, Tyreek Hill. It's a real player. There we go. I don't. What happened? Like again, like Tyreek Hill's like kind of believable there. Mike Evans too. What is that? What happened there? Like now he takes real players, or I guess Angelos might be a woman. All right, we're up in a couple picks. Kyron Williams is still here. Jackson Smith-Njigba, some great players. Who do you like here?
Man, I love Njigba here, but it's hard to pass up Kyron Williams. Although we have Nakua, so
yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So I think to me it's Njigba. I like Bryce Hall in this spot. Yeah, I think those are my favorite players in this spot.
But yeah, you're right. I don't want to like double take running back receiver from the same team. So let's take Jackson Smith-Njigba. Another week 8 bye receiver, but it's okay. We can avoid those going forward. What are you gonna say?
By the way, I have my rankings set up in my DraftKings account now, and so looking at your rankings are so different. And I'm just like, you're using the default ones here, and I'm just like, wait, where's all the good players? I mean, scroll down.
That's funny. I just it's ordered on ADP. I like that because I kind of get to know who like the other people are going to take, because like usually people can't think outside the box and they'll just draft based on ADP. Like they won't necessarily take the best player available every time, but like I feel like people just look at like the top 5 available and they'll take their best player from that 5.
Yeah, so I'll be looking and like just scrolling and see, okay, ADP, who's likely, I'll look at my next 5 to 10 players. Okay, who's likely to still be there the next time?
Yeah,
based on the ADP, and then draft a player in my next, my next 5 to my next kind of 5 to 8. I usually have 5 to 8 players queued at one time, and then I'll look and see, okay, which player is most likely to get taken by someone else, and that's usually my decision making.
Yeah, mine too. I learned that you can't really do that. You can't queue up players when you're live streaming because someone could be watching, which did happen to us one time. So one guy, I'm not sure if I told you, but I was drafting with Butters, who comes on for golf usually. But we took 2 tight ends, and there was like someone there, like this guy named Kai the guy, I think, was drafting, and we took two tight ends like right before his pick, and then he came into our chat and it was like, hey, you sniped 2 of my tight ends. so I thought that was funny, and then he drafted us with a few times. So like I don't know if he was watching like what we were doing exactly, but in those drafts I was like, I'm definitely not starring anyone, because like he would know who we like, and like for all we know, one of these people might be drafting us. Oh, maybe Angelos Mike did this to troll us. Like maybe that's the reason why they did that. So that could definitely happen.
True story.
Yeah. So yeah, you can't really do that. All right, we're up next pick. Joe Mixon's here. That's shocking. I know you love him.
Love him. Absolutely.
Never mind. He's gone. Chuba Hubbard, Kamara, Metcalf, Kenneth Walker. Who do you like here?
I love Kamara. I draft a lot of Kamara. I love Kenneth Walker. I like DK Metcalf. There's a DK Metcalf is in that round, tier of guys that I find myself drafting quite a bit in this time of the draft.
Yeah, I like Metcalf. We could go with Kamara because Walker. We have Jackson Smith-Njigba, so we'll take Kamara here. And so I like the look of our team so far. Granted, this team may not last very, very long. So I'll let you guys know if I get an email from DraftKings telling us our draft is canceled. Though Angelos Mike has started drafting with real players, so we'll see if that continues. I don't know why you'd be so blamed about it. Okay, no. I don't even know who this is. I have no idea. Jaden Sheridan. Have you heard of this player before?
Nope.
I have heard of this Quintus Cephas. I've heard of this person. Has he done? He did not do anything last year. So like, I don't know. Like, why? What is the thinking here? He took 2 old receivers in between 4 bums. I guess Caleb Johnson's not a bum, but still, like I don't know. We're up now. Metcalf's still here, by the way. I assume you'd want him. If he's there, if he's not, let's kind of prep. If he's not, we have Walker. We have Jackson Smith-Njigba, so I don't want Walker. I'm into Juwan Jennings if you want to take him. Okay, we can take Metcalf. He fell to us, so let's take Metcalf. So no, I love this team. This team looks awesome, but again, this may not hold up. Nakua, Neighbors, Jackson Smith, and Jigba Metcalf. That's an awesome quartet receiver, and we have Chase Brown, Alvin Kamara. Like that looks great. That looks like a team that could win best ball. Like as long as you get some good late round picks.
I mean, it is skewed by the fact that there are players on the board that otherwise would not have been in real.
Right. I know it's unfortunate. I just wish we could know how this draft would have gone. We have a question here from Mr. Magic. Rank these four in redraft: Hubbard, Connor, Mixon, Kamara. So in redraft, I would go Mixon, Kamara, Hubbard, Connor. It's close though. After I think Mixon's clearly number one, and then after that you can go any way. What do you think?
To me, it would be clear Mixon, Kamara would be my clear 1-2.
Okay.
And then I think I would say Hubbard and Connor. So I think I would agree with you on the 4. But I might have a clear Mixon, Kamara, and then have a distance between them and the next 2.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm definitely like slightly lower on Kamara than you. I do like him, but you definitely like him more, a little bit more at least. And then like we said, Mixon definitely number 1. Connor's 30. It's kind of gotten up there in age. I guess Mixon is too, but do you like Cook or Kyron more? I like Kyron Williams more than James Cook because James Cook may hold out. Like that's definitely a concern. He sold his house in Buffalo. Again, they may not mean anything. Maybe he's looking for new property. But still, he is disgruntled with his contract. And then he sold his house, so you kind of like put 2 and 2 together. So there's a chance he may not play this year. And Kyron Williams is awesome. That Rams offensive line is great. I definitely like Kyron Williams more. What do you think?
Yeah, I just think Kyron Williams is a better player. So I mean, that's for me, it's just he's better. I think he's in a better overall offense. Obviously, Cook is playing with an all-world quarterback, but I think I trust the Rams offense overall more than the Bills at this point. Yeah.
You trust the Rams offense more than the Bills? I feel like they're both explosive offenses.
Yeah, I feel like Buffalo has some question marks for me going into this season. Really? I think their receiving unit has some serious question marks. So, and I don't know that I still trust the coach. I don't think Sean McDermott's a good coach. I don't think I would have fired him after the end of this year. Like if I were the Bills owner, I would have gone move on from him.
Interesting.
And get a real offensive minded coach.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely. I mean, you wrote an article about that, right? Like coaches, coach quarterback who don't win. What was it within 4 years or 3 years?
5 years.
5 years. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely something to that. But let's continue that in a second. We're up in 2 picks. We take Mahomes if you want, but then there's Judkins, Olave, Kelsey, Mayfield, Cooper Kupp, Pollard, Swift, Pearsall, Hawkinson, Pacheco, Diggs.
What round are we in right now?
Round 7.
Yeah, I would seriously consider Mahomes, but you don't have to. I mean, I think there would be other guys there. I like Pollard in this spot right here.
Okay.
As well.
We will be 10 by running back. I don't really want to do that.
I like Chris Olave, but we have Kamara. I like Pacheco, but I wouldn't want to be taking him and Mahomes in this spot, obviously.
So you want Mahomes?
I'd be fine with Mahomes in this spot right here. I think there's a lot of value with him.
Okay. Unfortunately, Kelsey went, but it's not like make or break for me.
In this, okay.
I'll just take Mahomes, whatever.
And I think, I mean, I don't think this draft's going to last, so it doesn't matter, I guess. But I think there's a legitimate chance that Mahomes, with kind of a rejuvenated receiver core, Worthy taking a second, take a big step in year 2. Rashee Rice coming back.
Yeah.
And I think there's a chance that Mahomes comes back in FU mode. I think that's a legitimate, viable thing to consider. And so I wonder, and the last couple weeks of the year and into the playoffs, They really turned it up, and so I think they've retooled the offensive line. We don't know if it's going to be good or not, but they've sought to retool that, and so that should help.
Yeah.
I think there's a legitimate chance that Mahomes comes out and he's QB2, QB3 this year.
I think so. I think there's a chance of that. I haven't taken him. Jordan Love, by the way, 7-7. I haven't taken him, but like most of the time, like he's gone like round 5, round 6 for me before these past few weeks, and like now I've seen him drip into round 7, and like there I'm like, okay, I could see that maybe. Whereas like round 5, round 6 is no go for me. But I do think you're right. I think that there's a chance he's going to be so much for pairing him with the Royals. I do think that there's a chance he is in FU mode, like you said, and those receivers are all back. Offensive line lost Joe Tooney, but still they have they do have a new tackle and stuff. I think I want a receiver here. We only have 4. I want a receiver here. So there's Golden, there's Reed, there's Downs, there's Pittman. Or we could maybe get one of those guys later. Who are you thinking here? We have 10 seconds. You want Pollard?
Yeah, I like Pollard the most, but I like Pittman as well.
Let's take Pollard, and then maybe one of those receivers will fall back to us. So, Pollard's our third running back, but like I was saying before, Tennessee's offensive line will be better this year. So, but anyway, Mahomes like they took 2 tackles. And the tackle they drafted in the first round, Josh Simmons, like he could be awesome. Like if he wasn't for the injury, he would have been top 10 pick. Now, granted, like torn patella tendon is scary, but like from all reports, it sounds like he's like healthier at this point. So, fingers crossed. Hopefully, like he can play and be really good for them. And then they signed Jalen Moore, who's not bad. I just like if they kept Joe Tooney, I'd feel so much better about this. But losing Joe Tooney it could be pretty painful. But I do like the situation. I think you're right about that. Why do I have an alarm set for 12:35 a.m.? I swear my daughter, she plays with the phone. This is something my daughter has started to do. She grabs my phone and she's like, "Hello, hello, hello," and I'm like, oh, who's there? And she's like, "Daddy." And I'm like, well, Daddy's right here. but like she starts playing, she's like starts mashing buttons. And like I saw like when I took her to the hospital last week, she was playing with it, to make her feel better. And like I saw out of the corner of my eye, it said like user agreement. I'm like, wait, what are you signing? Like I snatched the phone away from her. And like today I saw her with the alarms and she was like clicking stuff. I'm like, don't set alarms for Daddy. And like apparently she set an alarm for 12:35 a.m. I don't know why, but so yeah, I had an alarm go off at 12:35 a.m. for some reason.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Yeah, exactly. Another question from Mr. Magic: would you take Kyren Williams over Chase Brown? I would take Chase Brown. What are your thoughts?
I'm taking Chase Brown.
Yeah, I love Chase Brown this year. Like the job is, go ahead.
But it's close. I mean, I think Kyren Williams is a great player. I mean, I think it's close. You can make an argument for Williams.
Yeah, you can. I think that. For me, I'm not really thinking about it, but you could make the argument. I think like Chase Brown this year, the job is his. Like Zach Moss is injured, so it's going to be his alone, and that offense is going to be really explosive unless they're playing against teams with like really good interior pass rushes. But he's going to do everything. Whereas like Kyren Williams is on an offense with Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, just like a lot of targets. And that, I mean, look, Tyler Higbee is going to draw a lot of targets too. People drafting here disagree, but he will. And so like, it's just like Chase Brown is definitely the number 3 option there. We are up. We're talking about taking a receiver, and our guys Pittman and Jaden Reed fell to us. How do our buys line up? I think they're okay. Doesn't matter. So who are you taking here between those 2 guys? Unless you like someone else.
I much prefer Pittman between those 2 guys for sure.
Well, Reed went anyway, so it makes our decision easier. We're going to take Pittman, so we have 5 receivers now. We don't have a tight end yet. We only have 1 quarterback. We only have 3 running backs, so it's kind of like the positions we're going to be targeting. This guy just took 3 quarterbacks in a row: Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, and Drake May. All feel too early for me, and like this is a draft where you can get guys later because the team's 12, and it doesn't look like Team 9 really took advantage of that, or I should say Team 10, not Team 9, Team 10. But I'm kind of curious about who Angela is. Mike is going to draft here. I don't know. Maybe they're celebrating Pride Month a little too much. Had a little too much to drink. I assume because Angela is Mike, right? I don't think apparently Angela's Mike is stacking up on Chiefs players, even though they don't have Mahomes. We'll see who else they draft, but we will have players better than we should get. Like we should not have gotten Pollard at 805. We should not have gotten Pittman. Right. Well, Pittman 908 because sometimes happens. Metcalf 605 is pretty insane. I've never seen that. So it looks like time is going to expire for this person. Geno Smith. So random.
This is a great team. Love this team.
Yeah, I mean, look, maybe they'll win some games or score some points. All right. So tight ends available. There's Njoku and stuff like that. Receivers, no one really. There's Jalen Warren if you want him. We already have 3 running backs. So quarterback, I feel like we could take one with Herbert or Fields. So who are you thinking here?
Herbert's my favorite in the crew in this spot of the draft.
All right, we're taking all the AFC West quarterbacks. Take Justin Herbert. So I don't want to get trapped with only 2 quarterbacks again. So we're Herbert. I like, and if I draft Herbert, I like to get Trey Harris potentially. So maybe we'll get him in round 11, or like we were saying before, Keandre Lambert-Smith. Maybe that's who we're going to target in round 20.
Yeah, that's the guy I've been taking a bunch of.
Yeah, he's good. I'm shocked he fell to round 7 in the draft. Like he is someone I had in the 4th round. I think Charlie had him there too. He ran a 4.39 and he's big and he can block. Now like his like route tree is like limited and stuff like that. Like I don't know. Like who cares? Like he can learn to run routes. Like I don't know. And like he just they had him do specific things in college. Like maybe he can do other stuff. Like so I just don't know why he fell that far in the real draft. But if he's someone he can be someone who goes off. Like we always have the question for John Sanders, who's this year's Puka Nacua, meaning like who's a day 3 receiver who's gonna be great. Now the answer is usually gonna be no one. But if there is someone that like Keandre Lambert-Smith is I think one of the favorites to be in that role.
Everything I've read about him is that he's a great athlete and he fits what the Chargers like. He's the kind of guy that Harbaugh really likes.
Yeah, any receiver who can block, he's going to play. And there's not much in front of him. There's Quentin Johnston who sucks, and there's Mike Williams who kind of sucks lately, or maybe he's always sucked. As I think you would agree with that. The latter.
I think he sucks.
Yeah, he's like a fancy Marcus Valdes-Scantling, where like you said it, he would have like 2 great quarters a year, and like everyone would remember those quarters. Like, but they would be amazing quarters. They'd be like 30+ point performances. But he's unfortunately past his prime at this point. So
well past it.
Yeah, and you could argue he's never had a prime. So
that's right.
So, yeah, it's pretty brutal for him. Cam Scatabo 1009. Do you like? I don't understand that ADP. I've talked about that a lot. He's going like 1 or 2 rounds after Tyrone Tracy, and he's the RB3 on the team. Travis Etienne 11-1 seems horrible. I think he's gonna be traded now. Recently, their new head coach Liam Cohen was like talking highly of Travis Etienne, and people were like, "Oh, look, he's not gonna be traded." I'm like, if you're trying to trade a guy, don't you talk him up? Like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. You don't go like, "Oh, he doesn't fit on our team, but we're still trying to trade him." Like, let me destroy all of his value. No, you talk him up and then raise his trade value and try to move him. Like maybe he goes to Dallas. Or
you lie.
What'd you say?
You lie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's how you negotiate. Like
that's right.
you don't say, "Hey, this guy sucks. Come trade for him, please." Anyway, I think he's gonna be traded. Anyway, let's look at our team. We have 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, 5 receivers, no tight ends. We can look at tight ends real quick. There's still Njoku. I'm fine with him
How
here.
about Tyler Kraft or Dallas Goddard?
Yeah. Tucker Kraft, Goddard. We can get maybe a little bit later. Let's look at quarterback. We need one more. We can wait, I think. Running back. Do you see any running backs you like here? Mason Charbonnet, Stevenson, Blue, Spears.
Let me see. Yeah, I think in the Bigsby, obviously my favorite. We already talked about him. Charbonnet, I like Stevenson as well. I think Stevenson is really underrated. I think there's a chance Stevenson could bounce back. I mean, remember he was a 3rd-round pick 2 years ago, right? I mean,
yeah. All right, we're up. So the guys I highlighted: Njoku, Kraft, Goddard, Garendo, Bigsby, Stevenson. Who do you like here?
Who's most likely to be taken? We got 5 seconds, probably.
18 seconds.
I think Goddard and Kraft probably last. Garendo, Stevenson, and Njoku don't.
Okay, so Stevenson, I guess, is most likely to be gone. Let's take Stevenson. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's take Stevenson.
Unless you love Njoku, but you know how much I love him.
Yeah, you're his biggest fan. I like Njoku. I like Njoku here. Like round 11 seems pretty good, as long as Flacco's the quarterback, or maybe who knows, maybe how Shador Sanders plays. But like Flacco to Njoku in 2023 was like a really good thing. So like, who knows? Like maybe that'll be like as long as they don't have the dreadful quarterback they had last year. Like when Deshaun Watson was in there, he was awful, and then Dorian Thompson-Robinson was even worse. But like when Jameis Winston played, like Njoku did well, Jerry Jeudy did well. Like, and I feel like Flacco's kind of like in the same boat as Winston.
It's probably
and
true.
Maybe what'd you say?
That's probably true.
Yeah. So and who knows? Maybe Shador Sanders will too. But like as long as it's Flacco. I'm comfortable taking any Browns guy, but who knows? Maybe he could be benched at some point too. Marshawn Lloyd went to Team 12, so our randomness continues.
Excellent.
I think he's just an auto draft right now. Let me see if that's true. No, it doesn't say auto draft, but I think he's on auto draft. He took Braden Smith around 12. He's taken 3 Chiefs recently: Braden Smith, Jalen Royals, and Hollywood Brown. And Blake Bell. I forgot Blake Bell.
Terrible.
Oh my God. Yeah, I hope DraftKings doesn't pick this up because I think we have a good team. And if you emerge from the pod with this team, like you're looking pretty good, like the top 2. All right, so we're up now. Kraft fell to us, so did Goddard, so did Garendo, and so did Tank Bigsby. Who do you like? Oh, Trey Harris, by the way. Trey Harris is here. We have to consider him because we have Herbert. I think we take Trey Harris and maybe one of the other guys. Yeah. Okay. All right. Maybe the other guys fall to him, and that's our 6th receiver, so I feel comfortable with that. Still no 2 tight ends, but Kenny and I don't value the position very much, as we talked about many times. Yeah. So yeah.
Kraft or Goddard will be there next.
Yeah, I think so too. And like, if not, Mike Gesicki is probably going to be there. I've taken Gesicki so many times around 14.
I apologize. I have a screaming child, so I'm going to go check on my kid. I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah. I can filibuster quite a bit. I mean, I do solo shows here, so we can talk about it. So Tajay Spears went to so CJ Stroud went at 12:07. That's interesting because we drafted him, I believe. I don't have to believe. I could just look. We took him at 11:02. So that's really interesting that Stroud would go 12:07 because that the shoulder stuff popped up. So that's like good. That's good to know. If you want to take Stroud, you can wait until late round 11 or early round 12 to draft him. So hopefully, what is this? Unable to retrieve next picks? What is happening here? Maybe we're canceled already.
I'm back.
Oh, you're back. This I've never seen this before. Have you? I mean, I draft all the time on my phone. Unable to retrieve next picks for 177459933. This is this draft. That's the ID number for this draft.
Oh, they're probably already canceling us.
already. Do we have an email here? You got an email, right?
I got an email from DraftKings when they canceled
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay. I have not got an email yet. So, but I've never seen this pop up to me. Yeah, unable to retrieve next picks. Looks like we will be refunded. So yeah, it's they already noticed. So why would they do this? Like again, if you're going to cheat, make it less obvious. So let's pretend where Angela is Mike, and she is on auto draft now. So are we even drafting?
Or did they cancel us out altogether? Oh, great.
No, still going. So if you're trying to cheat, take go Achane and Jonathan Taylor here. No one will blink an eye. Round 3, take Jameson Williams, go, and then George Pickens. Round 5, go not Khalil Shear. Take Chris Godwin and David Montgomery, Jacoby Myers. Like you can like clearly right. Cheat pretty easily. There's no reason to do this. Like you either wasted $20 or you wasted our time. Or maybe they're just trolling us. So that was my other theory, that they're trolling us. By the way, Tucker Kraft's still here.
I like Kraft.
I like Kraft too. I've taken Kraft. I feel like I've taken Kraft round 12. So this is different. Although not really a real draft at this point. So
right.
That's it's kind of sad that I don't know. We wouldn't really waste the time. So when you were gone, I pointed out that CJ Stroud went 12:07. And maybe that has to do with the guy at pick 12, but at the same time, he does have the shoulder question mark, and so people might be thinking, okay, let's be cautious here with him, And so I was thinking, like I said, while you're gone, I'm like, well, if you're thinking about taking Stroud, you can wait till round 12 to take him at this point. So we did learn something here in this draft. So. It looks like after every pick is made, that error comes up. We're up. Let's take Tucker Kraft, and then maybe we get Guerendo too. This is a great draft. I can't.
Yeah.
Do you see it? I can't draft players. I won't let me draft Tucker Kraft.
It looks like it's gone.
Well, I have my queue. Let's see if we'll still draft Tucker Kraft. I don't think it matters. I've never seen anything like this. Will we get Tucker Kraft? We'll follow my queue. It did. So we can load up on guys that we like, I guess, or we could just stop drafting. This is absurd. Just in case they don't cancel this, let's add quarterback here. Oh, well, no, I can't even add people to the queue. Okay, never mind. This has already been canceled. All right, I think there's no point in keeping this going. Anyway, yeah. Oh man, we missed on Guerendo. Come on. We have one guy left in the queue, Tank Bigsby. That's gonna be our last pick that we make.
Mr. Cartavius, let's go.
Yes. So we got Tank Bigsby. Can you believe we got Tank Bigsby 14th round? By the way, he took Will Howard. He already had this queue lined up. He had Will Howard and Curtis Samuel. What randomness here? Because he went with, there we go, Tank Bigsby. He went with Hill and Evans, and it looked like he was going to start being serious, and then he went with Sheridan and Quentin Cephas. It's just, I don't know, it's so stupid. Anyway, there's no point in analyzing this at all. So I guess we'll leave you guys on that note. So I don't know if there's anything else to say here. Any last thoughts on this 1.5 draft that we did tonight?
Oh, this is excellent. I love this.
Yeah, I'm all for a good troll, but I don't know. At the same time, you could have done this, that we kept this draft, Angela's Mike's. But happy Pride Month, I guess. Anyway, Kenny, you on the Cap is Fake, you have a new article. I read that actually. You talked about Bryce Huff and where the money is going now that they traded him and stuff. Do you want to talk about this real fast, or anything else on CaptainSfake.com?
Yeah, if anyone's interested, I've had people ask me this, what happens to guaranteed money? If a team guarantees money to a player and they trade him before the guarantees, what happens? And yeah, and so I basically tried that. I just used the Bryce Huff situation to answer the question using Bryce Huff's disastrous situation for the Eagles. So basically, any unpaid guaranteed monies that a team has paid to a player, it goes with the contract to the new team. So oftentimes, as the Eagles did, they restructured his contract before they traded him. Basically, they helped him save about $8 million. So it's got to be painful, though. They paid Bryce Huff about $17.5 million, and then they paid him $9 million right before they traded him. And so, can you imagine writing that check if you're Jeffrey Lurie, the owner of the team? It's like, listen, we have to get rid of this player. Okay, here's your options, owner. Either we keep this player on the team and we hate him and we're never going to play him, and you pay him $17 million this year, or you pay him $9 million and we trade him to San Fran. What do you think?
It's like, wow, that's very rough.
So that's what the Eagles sought. That's what the Eagles elected to do. They paid him over $9 million and then traded him immediately.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's good for them that, look, you're never going to be perfect. Howie Roseman is one of the best GMs in the NFL, maybe arguably the best GM in the NFL. But he has made mistakes. He took famously Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson, and he did make this move. But I think, look, you're always never going to be perfect, but what you can do to rectify it is identify a sunk cost and to get rid of him. I think the biggest mistake would have been to keep Bryce Huff on the team and just hope that he would pan out to something. But I think they correctly identified that he would not do that for them. And so at least they got a draft pick for him, and they got to save some money, not really in the cap, but like some like real money, which for the Eagles matters a lot because they actually spend this money on their players. So it's not like the Bengals where the guy hoards all the money. So this is a good move for the Eagles, I think. What do you think about this for the 49ers? Because Bryce Huff was someone who was productive in 2023 for the Jets and beforehand.
Yeah, I think for the Niners, and this is going to cost them $8 million in cash, and for this year, and at the end of the year they can cut him and owe him nothing and have no ramifications. So, $8 million to me is a lot of money, but for them, not a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah, he was productive. Brandon Graham talked about him, and just at the end of the day was like, hey, he's just it wasn't a good scheme fit. And so I think if you're a Robert Saleh, who he's a defensive coordinator, he was the Jets head coach when Bryce Huff was productive. You would say, hey, reuniting with the guy who helped them be productive and have double-digit sacks, like reuniting with that guy in a system that maybe is more friendly, is going to make sense. I think it's worth it for the Niners to take a chance. So yeah, I think the Niners win on this trade. $8 million, and if Bryce Huff ends up being 2023 version of himself, the Eagles are going to look really stupid. And then the Niners will have a decision to make. Do they keep him on the roster for $17 million next year? My guess is probably not, but worth a chance.
I do like the move for them because they really don't have anything on the edge outside of Nick Bosa. It's pretty bleak for them. I like the move. It made sense for both teams. So it kind of sucks for the Eagles that they had the sunk cost, but it really it's important to kind of identify those things, like I said, and just make sure that you're not stuck. You're not stuck with this like bad thing on your team. And you get to move on and just kind of like wipe your hands of it and pick up a mid-round draft pick and pick up save some money. So I like this trade for both teams. So pretty well done for both teams. But yeah, you can see lots of other articles on thecapsfake.com. Tons of stuff here. Love this WNBA players are actually overpaid article. If you haven't seen that, that's awesome. Tons of content here.
Grossly overpaid.
Yeah, I completely agree. Before we head out, let's see how our team is looking so far. Our quote unquote team.
It's gone.
They just got rid of it completely. So I assume we're just gonna get refunded. So there we go. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, commenting. Really appreciate it. Please hit like. Yeah, I know. At least we got one draft in. That's cool. Please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit the link in the description for the merch store. Kenny, any final thoughts here before we head out?
Don't draft quarterbacks too early. Don't eat yellow snow.
And if you're going to cheat in DraftKings, don't draft Quentin Cephas and Sheridan and Blake Bell.
Exactly.
Try to be smarter. All right, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. We have a guest tomorrow who has some good takes for fantasy. So can't wait for that. He's I know he's super high on Jake Betch and some other guys, and we get to find out why exactly. So I'm looking forward to that. Saturday, Tom is back. For those who didn't see, Tom recommended betting the Pirates tonight, which won for us. So it was nice. So Tom will be back on Saturday to talk about some other betting stuff, I assume. And then next week, full week with the U.S. Open for golf and stuff like that. So, all right. So, guys, I hope you have a great night, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
You the man, Walt.